Hello and welcome to this lesson. So in this lesson, I'm gonna teach you how to create a Databricks account. Creating a Databricks account is really not that difficult. A lot of people actually talk about, no, it's too difficult. I don't know how to create it. I'm gonna walk you through the exact steps that you need to create an account. So first and foremost, you go to databricks.com. So I'm having here databricks.com. And then once you are there, you'll see try Databricks on the left side. Sometimes it's on the upper right corner. So if you didn't see here, so let's click here, try Databricks. And all it will do, you need to fill some stuff. I think it's pre-filled with my details. Maybe I just need to add my title. Phone is optional. So I'm gonna click next, just fill in the details here. Ideally, when you are in an organization, this is for someone who just like doesn't have a cloud account, but ideally, most of the time you would work for your organization that has a cloud account. So you might have a different journey, but let's start from the basics. You go to Databricks, try Databricks for free. So I'm gonna click continue. And the next natural question is, what is the cloud provider that you want to work with? Remember from the last lesson, we talked about Databricks is a cloud service, cloud data platform that runs on the cloud. So to run Databricks, you need cloud provider. Databricks is a multi-cloud. That means it runs on the major cloud provider like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. Specifically, Google, Microsoft, Azure, Databricks on Azure is called Azure Databricks, while Databricks on Amazon and GCP is called just Databricks. The reason for that is Databricks and Microsoft have a strong partnership together. The Databricks product itself is bundled inside Azure, and it's called Azure Databricks, and it's the most integrated of the three because it's offered by Microsoft directly, and it's offered as a native cloud service on Azure. While Databricks on Amazon and GCP are what we call a marketplace offering, right? So in the cloud provider in general, you can get the service using either a native service like directly offered by the cloud provider or a marketplace service that's offered by third party. So Databricks on Azure is a native to Azure, so it's offered by Microsoft, while in AWS and GCP, it's a marketplace. It's a kind of like, your Google or your Android application. You got native application that comes with Android, but if you need additional application, you go to the marketplace, Google Play or App Store or wherever. So for that, I'm going to select Microsoft Azure because it's the most easiest one of all. I'm going to click continue. And then what will happen is Databricks will direct you to the Azure to create an account. Or if you have an account, fine, we can use the account. If you don't, then you can create an account. So let's take me to Azure Databricks. So click here. So this will load the Azure Databricks account, and then you see try Azure for free. All I need to do here, try Azure for free. And then you click start free. Actually kind of nice. You got $200 of Azure credit, which is good. For this course, I think it will be more than sufficient to try all the practices we're going to go through. It's valid for 30 days. So let's start for free. So click here. Now, all it does here, it will ask you to either log in or create an account. Now, I already have an account, so I created it beforehand. So it just looks like you already have an account, that's fine. But if you didn't got to this page, it will tell you, oh, you don't have an account, let's create an account. So we'll create an account, fill in your details, your address. One of the things it will ask you your credit card details, all right? So I know this might be stopping for a lot of people, but fear not, this is gonna be just for verification. It's not gonna charge you anything. It's free, gives you $200 free. Throughout the course, we'll know how to optimize the cost. You shouldn't go above $200. So your credit card is just for verification. You don't really need it. So I'm gonna use an existing subscription in my account, right? So now it logged in to my account. I don't need the tour, so maybe later. So this is my account, dbx.course@gmail.com. So this is my Azure account. This is the Azure portal, right, where you find all the services and everything. And I got 166 credit remaining. That's cool. We're gonna use this for the course. So all I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna search for Azure Databricks. And actually, it's already here. So recent service, I'm calling Azure Databricks, right? So just give you an overview. So all I need to do in this page, I just create an Azure Databricks. on Azure Databricks service. So click create Azure Databricks service. Now, throughout the steps, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know in order to create this account. So first, what is your subscription? So I already have a subscription, Azure subscription 1, that's fine. Resource group, I don't have any resource group, so I'm going to create a resource group. Now, a resource group in Azure is like a collection of services for billing purposes, usually for billing, maybe permission purposes, but usually for billing. So you want to create, especially if you are a large organization, you have multi-department and you want like every department to have a specific billing style, so you can group them in a resource group. So I'm going to create a new resource group. Azure, I'm going to call it Azure Databricks, right? So, okay, so I'm creating just a resource group. Click OK. That's a new resource group. Now, in instance today, what is the workspace name? So now this is where let's switch to where we can just do something on the whiteboard to give you an idea about what we're trying to do here, right? So I'm gonna go to the whiteboard. Here is the whiteboard, right? Right. So how Databricks actually works? So Databricks organizes everything in Databricks in something called a workspace. So when you work in Databricks, you basically work in a workspace. So a Databricks workspace is just like a group of things inside Databricks, right? We call it Databricks workspace. What is a Databricks workspace? Is a collection of users, right? And maybe Databricks clusters. We're going to come to that. Cluster is like a computational resources, right? And some policies and some access controls and things like that. It's like a group of things, right? Databricks workspace inside, it's going to run inside your account. So if this is Azure, we just created an account. So this is my account on Azure. So inside my account, Databricks will create a workspace, right? Each workspace is part of a resource group. Like I said, this is for billing purposes. And each workspace will require in Microsoft Azure something called a VNet, a virtual network, right? Where you're going to create compute power, like, so you need IPs and stuff like that. This is called a VNet. In Databricks, there is a two-style. Databricks can create the VNet, or you can just assign it a VNet, right? So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to create a workspace, create the VNet. We already created the resource group. So let's carry on and see what will happen here. So we created the resource group. We're going to give it the workspace a name. I call it dev workspace, right? Which region? Now in the cloud, you're going to create a cloud inside the region. So I'm going to leave it the default East US. Or maybe if you wanted to change, you can use whatever region that you wanted to have. So you can literally choose anything that you want here. So maybe for me, I would choose West Europe, because very close. Pricing tier, premium, and access control. Now this is again something like you can try, and Databricks comes in two different flavors: Databricks Premium and Databricks Standard. It's just the difference between both of them is some security features, so Premium and Standard, right? If you are working for an organization, you always go for the Premium, because this is the one that has most security, advanced security feature that usually organization wanted to have, right? However, if you are working for like a small kind of BOC, MVB kind of stuff, right, that you just to try things out, maybe Standard will do the job for you. So I'm gonna choose here. It says Premium, right? Trial Premium for 10 days, free DBUs. So I'm gonna try this, right? Then we'll click next to networking. Deploy Azure Databricks with a secure cluster connectivity, no public IP. That's an advanced security feature. We're gonna leave it the default. Deploy Azure Databricks with in your own virtual network. Again, I'm not going to give it my own virtual network. I'm going to use it to create their own default. This is called VNet injection. If it's yes, I'm going to leave it the default here. I'm not going to change anything. Advanced configuration. Do you want to enable infrastructure encryption? Again, I'm going to leave it the default. Tags, if you want to do some tagging. No, so I'm going to review and create. So click, review and create. Everything looks fine. I'm going to click create. Now, so what will happen now? So Databricks, like I said in this step, Microsoft Azure will create a Databricks workspace. Initially, the first member of the workspace will be the one who created the account. Oh, sorry, yeah, like the one who are the logged in on the current Azure portal. So you're gonna have a Databricks workspace that have someone, which is you, who created the workspace, logged in already, right? And we created a VNet. We actually asked it to create a VNet for us. It's part of a resource group. It's a premium, and it will do all the whole stuff that we wanted it to be, right? So now deployment in progress. It will take some time to deploy the resources. So basically create all the, workspaces, create all the things that you need to know about Databricks in the background. So once it's done, we're going to be back to launch the workspace. All right, so deployment is complete now. So all we need to do is go to resource. So click go to resource. Now you've got Databricks here. You just click launch workspace. So I'm going to launch the workspace. Again, sometimes Chrome act funny. Right? So it's now signing me in into the workspace that I just created. Now, the first thing you will do is you'll look at the workspace and you're gonna find yourself already logged in. Like I said, the person who created, who has logged in the current Azure portal is the same person who's gonna be first logged into Databricks. So maybe choose. I'm gonna choose exploring data Python. So click finish. Now we have Databricks. How do you make sure that this is the environment that is actually valid or is like created successfully? You go to compute and create compute. We're gonna just create something very tiny, personal compute here. We're gonna create a very tiny cluster, just one cluster, one memory, the smallest cluster ever. We're gonna just create cluster. If the cluster created and started, then our deployment is now ready to be. So I'm gonna wait for maybe 1 or 2 minutes for the cluster to start, and then we'll be back. All right, so my cluster has been created. You can see the green sign here. My cluster is running. Don't worry about all the terms and all the options and settings. We're gonna walk through all of this. We're just now verifying that the workspace has been created successfully and is ready for use. So how to test that? First, we created a cluster, which is good. Second is, I think we can go to the workspace here and go to home. It's gonna be take me to my place. So I'm gonna just create a notebook. So create a notebook. I'm gonna call it test deployment notebook. I'm gonna use Python. I'm gonna use this cluster, create. All I'm gonna do, I'm just run a simple command that to make sure that my cluster has been actually running. So all I'm gonna do here, first on the top right, you select this notebook will run on which cluster. So I'm gonna choose my cluster here, just created Amr Ali's cluster, right? It's already attached anyway. So I'm gonna just put a symbol, print, print the hello world statement. Hello world, right? And then here click on run cell, hello world, and that's successful run and show the results, which means you already have a cluster that is running. After you do that, you go back to your compute. You don't want to be discharged when you're not using the cluster, and click on the cluster and says terminate, right? So I'm going to terminate the cluster. And that's pretty much conclude this lesson, that you have created a Databricks workspace launched the workspace, and successfully verified it. So see you in the next lesson.